Hello and welcome to the Plenty of Premiums edition of Sports Casserole. Today we're going to break down a 10-team uh, super flex league. Basically, um, this league is pretty interesting. It has quite a few premiums, obviously by the name. But first of all, I'm Mick. You can find me on Twitter at MickStulkin or check out the pod at Sports Casserole, both on Twitter. If you have any questions afterwards, feel free to reach out to me. Um, with that said, I'll tell you about the rules of this league. So it's a 10-team league. PPR. The starting requirements are one quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, one tight end, two flex, and two super flex spots. It's a 10-team league, so that's only a maximum of 30 quarterbacks can be started, which in a superflex, obviously, you want to start a quarterback. So it's pretty tight. Most teams won't have more than one or two starting quarterbacks or one or two backups. Some of the teams have more than that. Some of the teams have less than that. So this league was pretty easy to figure out who was in the bottom. As far as the premiums, it's 6-point passing touchdowns. For pick six, it's -1 point. For a 40-yard completion, it's a bonus of 1 point. For a 40-yard touchdown pass, it's a bonus of 1 point. So if you pat Mahomes and you throw a 40-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill, that's an 8. Math numbers. That's 2 points for the 40 yards, plus 2 more points for the 40-yard completion and the 40-yard touchdown, plus your 6 points. So that's a 10-point play. That's a 12-point play. So that's a pretty big premium. There's going to be some crazy points scored in this league. For rushing, for each rush attempt, it is a half a point bonus. For a 40-yard rush, it's 1 point. For a 40-yard rushing touchdown, it's another point. And more or less the same for the receivers. Reception is a half a point. A 40-yard touchdown is a point. 40-yard reception is a point. And receiving first down is a half a point. And then for tight ends, they get a bonus of 1 point per reception. So they get 2 points per reception. Even if it's just a 1-yard reception, it'd be 2.1 points for them. And then there's some bonuses for 100 to 199 rushing yard game is a bonus of 1 point. 200-yard plus rushing game is 1 point. And same for receiving. 400 plus yard passing game is a bonus of a point. Combined 200-yard rushing or receiving game is 1 point. And 25 or more passing completions is another point. So there's a lot of premiums in this league. It made ranking it kind of tricky towards the top. The bottom teams are pretty obvious. One team, when I get to ranking, you'll see why. But within a year or two, I would imagine he's going to be towards the top. So without further ado, I will start at number 10. And this is the Commissioners' team, CK817. At quarterback, he has Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, Marcus Mariota, and Jarrett Stidham, I guess. But sadly, this is Sam Darnold's all right. The rest, Bridgewater, could be a starter. So really considering what the rest of his team is, and when I tell you what picks he has, it's surprising that his team is actually as good as it is. At running back, he has Tony Pollard and Travis Homer. Don't worry, his running backs aren't going to stay the same. He has literally every draft pick from 104 to 210 in this. He doesn't have 205 in there, so he has every pick but 205 between 104 and 210. So his team, other than his wide receivers and his tight ends, isn't going to be what his team is now after the rookie draft. At wide receiver, he has Christian Kirk, Michael Gallup, Josh Dockinson, and that's about it. At tight end, he has Fant and Mike Gesicki, as well as Irv Smith and Jared Stidham, and Drew Sample. Oh, sorry, not Jared Stidham, Drew Sample, and Chris Herndon. So actually, pretty decent tight ends. By the time he's ready to compete, which is probably a year to 2 years from now, they'll be developed. And Fant and Gesicki, I think, are both trending towards tight end ones. But like I said, he has 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 201, 202, 203, 204, 206, 207, 209, 210, and 301. So basically, I would think, and when I get to the people that have 102, 103, and 101, they're all three, I'm pretty sure, going to go quarterback with all three of those picks. So he's going to get Swift, Taylor, Dobbins, Akers, ECH, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, anyone he wants, pretty much, that would be a first-round pick, other than those quarterbacks. But he has 6 2021 firsts and 5 2022 firsts. So between I didn't actually end up counting his firsts this year. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 7 firsts this year and 6 next year and 5 the following year. So he has 16 firsts between 2020 and 2022. So he's set up to be a good team, and everyone that he has is young. He doesn't have a single old. His oldest player is Teddy Bridgewater, who's 27. So he's set up to be competitive. I would be very interested to see what his team looks like this time next year, or even just after the rookie draft. But yeah, right now it's a dog shit team. So, but you got all those picks, so that could be fun. But yeah, CK817 at 10. At 9, I have D Shots 81, and this is the team overall isn't bad. My guess is he traded up to get Mahomes, which with the premiums, Mahomes could have a 100-point game. That's within the realm of possibilities for him. But other than Mahomes at quarterback, he has Mahomes and Rodgers, and that's it. I guess he does have some other backups, but with the 2 super flex spots, you really want to be starting 2 quarterbacks in those super flex spots. It's going to put you a big disadvantage, especially with the premiums that the quarterbacks get. But yeah, I mean, Mahomes could make up the difference, but it's not really something I want to bank on. And the rest of his team isn't strong enough for me to say that he's anything better than 9th. I honestly, because of the number of firsts that CK had, I almost debated putting D Shots behind him, but because he has Mahomes, I couldn't do it. At running back, he has Sanders, Eckler, James Conner, Kareem Hunt, and that's about it. I like Sanders and Eckler. I don't love James Conner. I worry that they're going to replace him, or he's just not going to be able to stay healthy. They seem to kind of almost want to go, when he was the running back, they almost seemed like they wanted to go to a 3-headed monster there, which isn't the Steelers' MO, but it seemed to be with Connor this past year. Maybe it was because he was hurt. I don't know. But Sanders, Eckler, and Hunt, all solid. Hunt as your third is decent. In a 10-team league, it's not great, but it's not bad. Wide receiver, he has Tyreek Hill, DJ Chark, Mike Williams, Marquise Brown, Anthony Miller, John Ross, Tyrell Williams. So it's not bad. It's not great. Having the Hill Mahomes stack is nice, but it's for a 10-team league, it's underwhelming. And then at tight end, he has Evan Ingram, Austin Hooper, and that's about it. Both really good options, but just not enough to make up for the lack of the third quarterback or the elite depth elsewhere. For a 10-team league, I'd expect it to be a little bit better team. But like I said, I'm assuming he traded up for Mahomes. So that was 9 D shots, 81 at 9. At 8, Jamas. And I should have said this earlier. I'm horrible at figuring out what these weird screen names are. So if I butcher it, I'm sorry. But fuck you. So at 8, we have Jamas. Again, this is because he doesn't really have. Actually, he has the 101, so technically he has a third quarterback, but that's all he has. He has 3 quarterbacks, and one of them, or his starters are right now, are Drew Lock and Phillip Rivers. After the rookie draft, he'll have Joe Burrow. So then his starters will be Lock, Burrow, and Rivers with no backup. And I don't love Rivers or Lock, and honestly, Burrow. Relying on the rookie to start right now isn't great. The rest of his team is really solid. At running back, he's got Kamara, Mixon, Fournette, Ingram, Madison, Justice Hill. So that's for a 10-team league, even for a 12 or for a 10-team league, it's really solid. All 4 of his starters were top 10 backs last year, and I think Fournette, Mixon, and Kamara could all be top 5 really easily. At wide receiver, he's got Moore, Metcalf, and Debo, as well as Hardman, Paris Campbell, Andy Isabella, and Jalen Hurd, depending on if he's labeled as a tight end or a wide receiver. I really like all of those wide receivers. It hurt me to have to rank this team at 8 because it's, other than Ingram, it's a team that I really like overall. It's a young team, and it's going to get better. His window's probably 3 to 4 years from now, which kind of sucks because his running backs are built to win right now. If I was him, I'd probably look to trade some of them for some of CK817's draft picks, whether that's Mixon for the 104 and 108, something like that, or Kamara for the 104 and 107, because I have to imagine CK doesn't want to take all those draft picks. Maybe he does. I don't know what he wants to do, but there's a lot of risk involved there where he could, with the 2021, the 6 2021 firsts and the 5 2022 firsts, he could make a lot of moves and turn his team around really quickly. Anyway, back to Jamas. At tight end, he's got Hawkinson and Ian Thomas, both really, really young and promising tight ends. I think both could break out this year. It depends on what Detroit does at quarterback, if they keep Stafford or not. Honestly, if they got rid of Stafford, it might be better for him. Stafford historically just doesn't really use his tight end a whole lot. And I know with Matt Patricia being there, he's trying to imitate everything that the Patriots do, include use of the tight end, which is why they drafted him in the first place. So hopefully that'll end up being what they do with Hawkinson. Ian Thomas was breaking out last year. Hopefully with Cam Newton back healthy, he'll take another step forward. 8, Jamas. Number 7, I have Tommy Gunn. Again, he's still towards the bottom tier here. And it's mainly because his depth falls off. His quarterbacks I really like, but he just doesn't have the depth that some of the other teams above him have. At quarterback, he has Lamar, Russell Wilson, and Kirk Cousins, and Derek Carr. So 2 elite options and 1 very solid option in Cousins. At running back, he's got David Montgomery, Marlon Mack, Darius Geis, Tariq Cohen, Tevin Coleman. So overall, not bad, not great. Geis could be a great third option. Hell, I could easily see him, if he stays healthy, he could be the best running back on Tommy Gunn's team. But I can also see a world where all three of those running backs, his top three, disappoint. And if that happens, the team overall is not going to succeed. At wide receiver, he's got Juju, Kenny G, Diggs, and Adam Thielen, and T.Y. Hilton. Juju, I worry about with Big Ben coming back, if he's going to be healthy. If he's not, he still hasn't even thrown a football yet. And if we saw what Juju was without Big Ben, regardless of if you want to argue if he can succeed without Brown on the other side, if he can be a number one with getting covered by number one cornerbacks, regardless of that fact, he just, without Big Ben, wasn't good. I know health had played a factor in it, but anyway, Diggs as a third wide receiver is really good. Hopefully, this is actually the second league in a row that I've broken down that the Diggs owner also had Thielen. That seems odd to me, but I know there's rumors that Diggs is getting traded. Where he goes, I don't know. If it's going to be better than being in. I just realized he has Diggs, Thielen, and Cousins. He must be a Vikings fan. Anyway, if Thielen or Diggs gets traded, it could help. Overall, this team, I just don't see, other than that quarterback, I don't see much upside. And to compete with the teams that are coming up, you need some elite upside. And he just doesn't have it right now. Tommy Gunn at 7. At 6, I have Jeff West. Fuck you, Jeff West. You're being Jeff West from now on. At quarterback, he's got Cam Newton, Ryan Tannehill, and Gardner Minshew. I know I said you need some elite quarterbacks, and he doesn't have. His quarterbacks don't give me the warm and fuzzies right now, but he also has 102 and 103. So he could, if he wanted to, take Herbert and Tua. I don't know if that's his plan or not. Looking at his running backs, he could probably go quarterback then running back or vice versa, because his running backs are Nick Chubb, Lev Bell, Phillip Lindsay, Devonta Freeman, Damian Williams, and Raheem Mostert. So not bad options at all. Definitely decent, but if he wanted to, and if he felt great about, say, Swift or Taylor, he could take them. I think Cam, Tannehill, Minshew, Brissett, and Tua as your quarterbacks is not bad at all. And then you could replace Lindsey or Lev Bell with Swift or Taylor or Dobbins, whoever you like. It's not bad. You're sitting in a great spot at 102 and 103. Wide receiver, he's got Adams, Godwin, Cooper, and AJ Green and John Brown. Some good options there. Some really, really, really good options, honestly. All three of his starters are wide receiver ones in my book. Looking at it now, I might have him a little bit too low after I thought in my head about him getting – no, he's in the right spot. Yeah, you're in the right spot. I might switch him around. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Sorry about this. We're going to switch some guys around. So Jeff West is now going to be at 5 because his tight ends, overall his team's really good. I like his wide receivers a lot. They all are going to get massive bumps from the premiums. And his running backs are very solid. His quarterbacks, although not elite, are good enough because the rest of his team's good enough. At tight end, he has Ertz and Hunter Henry. It's a really good team. For a 10-team league, I don't think it's good. It's not elite enough to really compete with all the other teams at the top, but it's definitely, if things break right, if he gets really good play out of Tua or whoever he ends up taking at 102 and 103, he could very easily jump up into that top tier. Yeah, Jeff West, we got a 5. At 6, it's going to be Dheggs. I'm not going to try to pronounce that one. At quarterback, he's got Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, Big Ben. All decent options. Stafford was playing at an elite level last year before he got hurt, but having back injuries 2 years in a row concerns me. Matt Ryan, is this going to be a down year? He has been a yo-yo throughout his entire career, either top 3 quarterback or below 15. Last year was a top 10 year, so maybe this is the year he drops down, or maybe he finally evens out. At running back, he's got Zeke, Aaron Jones, Todd Gurley, James White, and that is it. So Aaron Jones, Zeke, Todd Gurley, all guys that could be in the top 10. Zeke and Aaron Jones were in the top 5 last year, so solid running backs. At wide receiver, he's got Hopkins, Julio, Lockett, Curtis Samuel, Darius Slayton. So the top 3, obviously, are all guys that were wide receiver 1s at some point in their career. Hopkins and Julio are still wide receiver 1s. Julio's getting up there, but all he does is have 1,400-yard seasons. So can't complain about the wide receivers. Tight end, he's got Mark Andrews and Eric Ebron. Andrews concerns me as being the guy. He didn't have a massive snap share for the amount of production he had. He was a little reliant on touchdowns. So in the tight end premium, he doesn't get a massive bump, but he does get a bump. Hopefully they do trade Hayden Hurst, and then he'll get some more playing time and more snaps will equal more production. We'll see. But overall, it's a good team. It's not great. It's not bad. He also has O.J. Howard at tight end, but to me, he's sort of a non-factor unless he gets traded or they get a different coach in Tampa Bay. Arians, for some reason, just does not use tight ends, regardless of how amazingly talented they are. So, he's at 6 with Jeff West at 5. At 4, we have O. Walters 3. He has at quarterback Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, and Josh Allen. To me, he has the best quarterback group in the league. All 3 of them are young. All 3 of them were top 10 quarterbacks last year. For him to have been able to assemble the rest of the team that he has and have those 3 at quarterback, it's fairly impressive. He does lack a little bit in depth as far as the high-end talent for his flexes, but overall, he doesn't need much when he has those 3 quarterbacks. At running back, he's got Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Chase Edmonds, and Rashad Penny. Honestly, he better hope that Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry stay healthy, because I wouldn't want to rely on Edmonds or Penny week in and week out. He'd be in trouble if those got hurt. But Jacobs and Derrick Henry both could very easily be top 10 backs next year. At wide receiver, he's got Sutton, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Robbie Anderson, Marvin Jones, and Emmanuel Sanders. His top 3, I like them all. They're all young. They're all very productive. All wide receiver 2s with potential to be wide receiver 1s if things break right. Deontay Johnson, I think, is going to benefit from Big Ben being back. I said it in my last video, I think he can push Juju to be the wide receiver 1, which pains me to say because I love Juju. I've always loved Juju. I'm a sucker for young, productive wide receivers, and there's none younger than Juju. He also has N'Keal Harry, who we'll see what he does this next year. He didn't do much this year, but we all know that the Pats' offense is hard to learn. So hopefully he takes a step forward. But if he doesn't, he's on the way to being called a bust. At tight end, he's got Dallas Goedert and Gerald Everett. This is easily his weakest position. Goddard was coming on at the end of last year, but he's still in Zach Ertz's shadow, so to speak. And he was really only being used because they had nothing else to throw to other than Ertz, Goddard, and Miles Sanders. That was pretty much it. Other than that, it was guys off the street. And I guess J-Job, but he wasn't doing shit because he sucks. Anyway, that's O. Walters 3 O. Walters 3 at the 4th spot. At 3, we got Alex W3. At quarterback, he's got Deshaun Watson, Jimmy G, and Carson Wentz. All again, a very solid group of quarterbacks, 2 top 10 options in my mind, and Jimmy G could get up there. I don't think he will just because of how much they run the ball. But very solid group there. At running back, he's got Barkley and Kerryon Johnson. And that's about it, honestly. That could be an issue for him. I don't love Kerryon. I said in my last video he has a very lengthy injury history. But if he can stay healthy and they don't draft someone to help spell him, he could be I could see him being a top 12 back. It's possible. It's in his range of outcomes. At wide receiver, he's got Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry, Sterling Shepard, Jamison Crowder, and Preston Williams. Again, very solid group. His top 3 are all easily, in my mind, wide receiver 2s, if not wide receiver 1s. Shepard, Preston Williams, Crowder all have potential to push to be wide receiver 3s. Crowder was this year. Preston Williams would have been if he stayed healthy. Health will be a big issue. Not a big issue, but if he can't get healthy seasons out of all his players, mainly carrying on Jarvis Landry, Crowder, Preston Williams, and Sterling Shepard, he could be in trouble because he doesn't have much depth. But what he does have, I really like. At tight end, he's got Kittle, Tyler Higbee, and that's it. But that's really all you need because Kittle is, for me, the Dynasty tight end 1. And in this format with the massive premiums for receptions for tight ends, it's a very nice boost for him. So yeah, that's Alex W3 at number 3. At number 2, we got N Young, 7688. It sucks because he was in my last video, I ranked him number 1. I don't like having to do it. He just drafts well. At quarterback, he's going to be starting Goff, Haskins, Breeze, and/or Trubisky. I don't want to start these quarterbacks all of the time, but for this year, it's good enough. He's going to get by. At running back, he's got CMC and Chris Carson. This is probably the reason that I have him so high. He's got CMC, Chris Carson, Odell, Keenan Allen, Tyler Boyd, Travis Kelce, Devin Singletary, David Johnson, Julian Edelman, Jared Cook, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Brandon Cooks. That starting lineup, I could see it putting up 200 points easily in a week because of the reception premiums and the carry premiums and the 200-yard game premiums and the 100-yard game premiums. His biggest issue is going to be quarterback, but I think the rest of his team is good enough to carry him. I'm done talking about him because I talked about his team a lot and how old it was in the last league. His team is not old here. That's a really good team. Other than I didn't check to see if he traded away any of his seconds or his 2021 picks. I don't think he did, actually. I was surprised by that. But no, he had to have to be. I'm sure he did. I don't know. But it's a good team. He might, in a couple of years, it's going to taper off, but who knows how long the league's going to be around. I don't. Anyway, on to number 1. And this is Bosox 077. In my last league, he was mad because I ranked him low, but that was because his quarterback sucked. Well, not sucked. They were just pure potential. In this league, they're still just potential, but the rest of his team is good enough that it helps, that it carries him. And in this league, there are quarterbacks that have actually shown something. His quarterbacks are Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston. He doesn't have a fourth, which could be an issue, especially if Winston doesn't get a job somewhere, it's a possibility, but it's a very slim possibility, I think. Even if he's not in Tampa Bay, it's going to be somewhere. There's just not enough talented quarterbacks in the league. And regardless of what you think of him, you have to agree that Winston is talented, whether or not he throws interceptions or not. I mean, if you want to talk about throwing interceptions and still having a job, Jay Cutler had a job until he was 33, and he threw more interceptions than – well, not more, but he threw a lot of interceptions and didn't give a shit. Winston at least pretends to give a shit. So there's all three of them I love. They're very young. They're very good. Very talented. At running back, he's got Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, Sony Michel, Kenyon Drake, Adrian Peterson, Royce Freeman, and Ronald Jones. Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, Drake, all could be top 12 options at the running back position. Rojo, AP, Royce Freeman, Sony Michel, solid backup options. Above average backup options, honestly. At wide receiver, he's got Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, Robert Woods, Devontae Parker. That is a very solid wide receiver group. That is, in my mind, that's elite. Thomas, Evans, A.J. Brown, Woods, and Parker. I think, I didn't check this, but I'm pretty sure all 5 of them were wide receiver 1s last year. Woods might not have been. Depends on the size of the league. If it was a 14-team league, I know Thomas, Evans, Parker, and A.J. Brown were all top 14. Woods wasn't, but regardless, having 4 top 10 options at running back or at wide receiver and having 2 top Dalvin Cook and Drake and Melvin Gordon. One is a top 10 option at the running back position. The other 2 are very good running back 2s for most people. It's a very solid team. It wasn't hard for me to rank this team number 1. At number 8, we got at tight end, he has Darren Waller. This might be his only weakness on the team, other than his quarterback position could be hit or miss. And he doesn't really have a fourth option at quarterback. He just has Tyrod. At tight end, it's just Waller as far as I'm concerned. He didn't really have a standout backup option. But Waller easily in this format with the reception premiums is going to score at least 12 to 15 points a game, assuming he's used the same way he was last year. So he's my number 1. So going back down from number 1 all the way to 10, we got Bosox 077 at number 1. At number 2, N Young 7688. Number 3, Alex W3. Number 4, O Walters 3. Number 5, Jeff fucking West. At number 6, DHEGS. Number 7, Tommy Gun. Number 8, Jamas. Number 9, DShots81. And number 10, CK817. And normally I would do a first-round rookie mock, but in this league, it's kind of just, like I said, CK has literally from 104 all the way to 203. So I'll do it, but it's not going to be interesting. It's going to be very chalky. At 101, we have Jamas. He needs a quarterback. That works out perfectly. I'm assuming he drafted knowing he had the 101. So he's going to take Joe Burrow. At 102 and 103, we have Jeff West. He can go a couple different directions. Personally, with the double superflex and knowing that CK needs everything, well, it doesn't matter what you do. CK has every pick. So, but knowing that you have the double premiums, and it looks like he was trying to find that quarterback option, so he's just going to go ahead and take Tua and Herbert at 102 and 103. Try to shore up that quarterback spot. Because really, if you can get 3 to 4 to 5 options with the quarterback being so important, that gives you more ammo to trade. At 104, we get to CK, and now he has every pick to 203. So it's just going to be, he's going to go whoever he wants. We'll say DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, Cam Akers, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's 10. So that's what he's going to get. And then at 202, he'll take Jalen Reagor. 201. Oh, sorry, I skipped 201. 201, Reagor, 203. 202, I'm at T. Higgins. 203, I'll give him Zach Moss. 204, take your pick of the quarterbacks, I guess, because you do need a quarterback option, I guess. But with those options, that's why I think as long as half of them hit, which they should, other than your quarterback, it's going to be a really nice team. You might not even be able to start all of those, which is why if I was CK817, I'd start trying to trade multiple picks for established guys, especially the teams that I don't think are going to be competing this year or next year, which it's early on to decide that. But for me, that would be Jamas and D-Shots 8-1. They're both good teams, but every team in a 10-team league is good. Neither of those two teams is elite or good enough, in my opinion, especially D-Shots 8-1 with only 2 quarterbacks. But overall, it's an interesting league. It was fun to break down. I might check back in on it, depending on if they want me to or not. I'd be really interested to see what CK817 is able to do with all those picks. If he actually does draft them, if he doesn't, trade for more established guys, he could end up with a really, really good team. Or it could just backfire and everyone in this 2020 class busts. I pray to God that it doesn't happen because I have at least 4 to 5 first rounders in every league that I have. So we'll see. But that is the breakdown of plenty of premiums. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at McStalkin. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button on the video if you liked it, and leave some comments. Thanks. Good night.